fresitas de YouTube, un día más en este canal donde no tenemos globos, pero tenemos manos. Let's go.
Capítulo 10, ¿en serio? No, era el 9. Era el 9. Vale, descansa en el sofá. Ok.
You know how they say your life flashes before your eyes when you're dying? That shit's real talk.
Ay, pobre.
Saw it all, huh?
Yeah. There I am, bleeding out. And suddenly I'm getting the 3rd degree from Matsugane-san. Back when I was still just a rookie. Captain Hamura stares me down like, time to lose that pinky. And then, Higashi starts crying for me. Oh, if I'm gonna go, I ought to get a better final scene than that shit, right? Right?
I'm sure it'll be rosier when the time comes for real. Glad you pulled through, man.
No, hombre, no, que va a morir Kaito.
Bastard Soma, though. Next time, he's fucked. We could have avenged Sawa-sensei if it weren't for that stupid ambush.
Well, you didn't tell the cops about him, did you?
Had to give the cops a statement, so I did. With a generous side of bullshit.
That'll get you busted, you know.
I'm joking. All I said was the truth. That I got knifed by the same twisted fuck who got Sawa-sensei.
In that case, it's only a matter of time until Soma's arrested.
Sí,
So
van a
for
arrestar.
now, we'll go after Kuwana, the piece that ties it all together. We just have to find him before RK does.
Kuwana, huh? He's on my shit list too, just so you know.
Huh?
Kuwana must have had some sort of agenda back when he first met us. In fact, it's probably because you were looking into Mikoshiba. He palled around with me all because of that. I'm just a sucker of the agency, huh?
I wouldn't say that.
Still. The moment an ass for me to kick turns up, this is the shape I'm in.
Just focus on getting better. Tsukuma will stop by later, too.
What? Sugiura gonna give me the cold shoulder?
He and I are off to question Mamiya. He said he'd drive us from Mijincho and everything.
Se viene. Vamos a ir a hablar con la tía. Buah, se viene. A ver, ya dame antes de que me muera. ¿Yo por qué hablo media hora? Estoy haciendo un té. No me he muerto, me estoy haciendo un té calentito. Vale. Y me callo la boca que me muero.
And stay down.
Podría hacer recopilación de atropellos.
So, we off to see Mamiya? I'm ready whenever you are.
Yep, let's go.
Alright, let's do this. If your theory is accurate, then Mamiya was involved in both Kawai and Mikoshiba's murders. And even if that's off, we can at least learn more about Kawana-san as a teacher.
Bien pensado. ¿Y si está muerta? ¿Qué pasa?
Yes?
Hi, it's Yagami.
Está viva.
I dropped by with Genda Law the other day.
Not again.
I have just a few more questions I'd like to ask you.
You told me the last visit would be your only one. Seriously, why do you keep showing up here uninvited? Please, just leave me alone.
I suppose I should mention, I'm here today as a detective, not a lawyer.
So what?
And my partner here is Sugiura. He's with an agency called Yokohama 99.
Never heard of him.
He's based in Ijincho. He's working a case. Maybe you saw it on the news? The murder of Seiryo High teacher Yokosawa, killed in her own apartment. You and Sawa-san were classmates in high school, is that correct? After leaving Kurakawa 13 years ago, Sawa-san moved to Ijincho to teach. Are you still there?
What is it you want? I haven't seen Yoko-chan since graduation. Now go. You're barking up the wrong tree.
Maybe you'll remember Kitakata-sensei then. I ran into him at Sawa-sensei's home right before the murder. He was your homeroom teacher at Kurakawa, but resigned after the Mitsuru Kusamoto incident. Just like you, he appears to be connected to Sawa-san.
So why am I being singled out? Can't you just ask someone else?
Believe me, it's a long list. But right now, we're here to find out how Sawa-san got mixed up in all this. You two weren't necessarily on bad terms, were you?
If I had to say, we weren't on the best terms either.
Ah, how convenient. Because that's a perspective I'd like to hear more about as well.
My husband will be home soon. Can you keep it quick?
I'll give it my best shot.
Exactly. Thanks for hearing us out.
Hold on just a moment.
Wonder what's going on. You don't think she bolted, do you?
Wouldn't count on it.
Estará acostando al
Should we
niño.
ring again?
Oh, sí, no lo sé.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I just wanted to clean up a little.
Ah. Vale.
Is your son home today?
C-bajo, así es como
He's at
chilla
English school.
cuando tiene bien la
I have to pick him
garganta.
up soon.
Doesn't your husband help with any of that? You said he'd be home soon, right?
Sí.
Excuse me, but you are in no place to make those kinds of comments.
Sorry. Didn't mean to pry.
Well, what is it you want to ask?
Do you remember Mitsuru Kusamoto?
Yes, we were classmates in high school.
He jumped off the school's roof after his classmate Shinya Kawai bullied him. I hear he's still in a coma, 13 years later.
Weren't you going to ask me about Yoko-chan?
I was, but there seemed to be an awful lot of Kurakawa graduates surrounding this case. And strangely enough, they were all in your class. Kitakata-sensei being the prime example, as well as a guy named Akaike-san. Remember him?
Well, you're right. We were in the same class.
And would you say you're all familiar with Mitsuru Kusamoto's situation?
Yes, but that's not a warm memory for any of us.
Mm.
I understand. I'm sure it's not. Have you been in contact with Kitakata-sensei lately?
I haven't. He's someone I'd rather not have in my life.
Are you surprised that he
Pero
stayed
no
in
queremos
Ijincho after
enfadarla, así
resigning
que no
from the
podemos
school?
decirle eso.
No, not really.
How about the fact that now he's using an alias?
I had no clue. But again, he has nothing to do with me.
Ahora sí se va a enfadar.
The groping was orchestrated, right?
Excuse you?
Lo
When
dice así.
Akihiro Ihara grabbed you on the train, you were in on that, weren't you? The whole thing was a conspiracy, staged to play out as it did.
You need to leave. Right now.
Dude, what gives?
No one would even think to consider a predator and his victim could be accomplices. It's unheard of. But if it was to establish a murder alibi, that's another story, considering how much lighter the sentence is. That way, Ihara got away with killing Mikoshiba, paying only a fraction of the price.
Pero ¿y por qué?
But as luck would have it, proving it is going to
Porque la
require you to
ayuda, por
cooperate with us
chantaje.
now.
If you don't get out this second, I am calling the police. I mean it.
It took me quite a long time to figure out how you and Ihara were connected. But once I learned Yokosawa attended Kurakawa, it all started falling into place. She was in your homeroom class. She looked after Toshiro Ihara. She was the link to everyone. But just before I could ask her about any of this, she was murdered by Kamurocho gang.
Hola,
That same
Kenji.
gang
Bueno,
has been hunting your old teacher,
A medias.
Kitakata-sensei.
What is it you want from me?
ya he tenido mi
Obviously.
primer ataque de tos en
Do you
50
have any
minutos.
idea where Kitakata-sensei could be? He may be Kawana the handyman, but he hasn't answered his work line since Sawa-san's murder.
Hola, Carlos.
I don't know. He was my teacher a decade ago. I barely remember his face.
Well, I'm
Mentira.
willing to wager Kitakata-sensei still remembers yours. I'll prove it right now.
Oh, God.
Ojo, Kenji. De puta madre, entonces, ¿no? A descansar. Bueno, pero puedes descansar hasta las 8:30, eso es bien. No me creo que Cubana le vea la cara de yo y Mamella, la prueba es esta.
See for yourself.
No.
Esta
This was
es...
recorded at Kurakawa Academy 13 years ago.
Esta es la bullying del tío que está en coma ahora. Y aparte la cómplice de lo del abuso sexual del
It
tren.
was well
Es
hidden.
esta, para los que habéis
Your
llegado
Kitakata-sensei had it on a USB drive.
ahora.
He really didn't want this thing being seen. The most interesting part is the date. It's the very same day Mitsuru Kusumoto jumped off the school roof.
Hijos de
But
puta,
hanging
tío.
out in the back, we see you, laughing and cheering right along with the other bullies.
Guess it's safe to say it's a good thing your family wasn't home.
Pero nos queda el tío que desapareció hace 5 años, que estaba en la Yakuza y que se lo llevaron los amigos. Pero no sabemos qué han hecho con él. Pero lo tiene que saber. O sea, el cubana tiene que saberlo porque estoy segura de que fue él uno de los que se los llevó y esta igual también. Porque dijeron que se los llevó a antiguos compañeros. Así que, ¿ese hombre seguirá vivo? ¿O lo mataron de verdad? Eso todavía no se sabe y estoy muy intrigada, ¿eh? Buah, Carlos, si tú es que has llegado más a la mitad de la historia, pero esto es un culebrón, ¿eh? Ni te imaginas el culebrón.
Wouldn't exactly want them seeing this, would we?
Has this video come up? Has Kitakata-sensei ever mentioned to you that he had it?
Hmm.
Please. Please delete it.
Considering the angle, I get the feeling that this was recorded in secret. And based on your reaction, did you even know it existed?
You know what happened to Mitsuru-kun. He's been in a coma ever since what you did to him that day. But still, only one of you took the fall. Shinya Kawai took all the blame. Well, sorta, being that he got fired, Kitakata-sensei took heat too. Still, you all just moved right along with your lives. You've even got happy little families.
Y el otro
What?
muerto. Bueno, muerto,
Are
en
you
coma.
expecting someone?
Su hijo.
Amiya-san?
¿Quién hay ahí? No es su hijo.
Well, I knew it would happen someday.
What do you mean?
¿Qué? 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 Por eso tardaba tanto en abrir, hija de puta. Perdón. Perdón.
Looks like she wanted some company.
¿Y esto?
Let's go.
No, no creo... No.
Guión bajo casichillas. Espero que esta casa lo hace por ti.
Gracias, JC. Gracias, JC. Quería hacer eso. Justo. No puedo. No me salen ni los agudos.
This turned into a shit show.
No, pero esta gente ya estaba aquí antes de venir Yagami. O sea, algo estaban haciendo con ella. O querían matarla, o chantajearla, o algo.
And would you look at that? Our old friend Akaike-san showed up to play a part.
Ah, están todos reunidos entonces.
So you are all working together.
What should we do with them? They're the jerks who hurt Tsukumo-kun, right?
Break every finger on their hand, it still won't make you even. Come on, they may have more on the way.
Vale,
I have an
vale.
old haunt in mind we move this to. And Mamiya-san's coming with.
O sea, están de reunión.
Huh?
Let's not cause a scene, okay? I'd hate for a finger to slip and post this video.
A los recreativos.
Hey, you think this is your personal jail, Yagami? What makes you think you can keep bringing captives here?
Well, it's the safest spot we know. Doesn't it feel good to be such a reliable friend?
Yeah, Higashi, be cool. We won't be around long.
Be cool. You think time's the issue? This is about respect, man.
What you call? We kicking him out?
Oh, quick bit of news, Higashi-san. Kaito-san got shanked in Yokohama.
What? What the fuck? Kaito Aniki? By who?
You'll know once we're done explaining. Let me introduce you to Mamiya-san first. She called up her friends to come after us just a little bit ago.
Ah, pues no está
And I
ahí
do it
antes,
again.
entonces.
I don't give a shit about that. What
Vale,
happened
sí.
to Aniki? You better have paid
Quería
him back
eliminar a
already,
Yagami.
Yagami.
Qué ingenua. Con tres pringaos, ¿sabes? Sí, sí,
Fuck those
razón.
RK assholes.
Razón.
And how could Aniki have let him get to him like that?
Now that Higashi-san's up to speed, should we get to it? I imagine Mamiya-san doesn't want to drag this out.
What do you intend to do with me?
First, you'll tell us everything you know. We'll decide how to deal with you afterward.
Esto es como cuando interrogamos en el 1 al yakuza este que vestía de blanco, ¿os acordáis?
Then let's get this over with. What do you want to know?
Let's start with the video. Any thoughts you'd care to share? I found it on a flash drive in Kitakata-sensei's room. Or should I say, Kawana's. I take it that means he's the one who recorded it.
Yes.
That means Kawana already knew back then the rest of you were bullies too?
Yes.
If that's the case, then why was Shinya Kawai the only student thrown under the bus for it? Kawana-san didn't show that tape to anyone else?
We had no idea we were even being taped. We didn't find out about the video, or the reason he sat on it so long until way after graduating.
Why exactly did he sit on it for so long?
Kitakata-sensei said he kept it so he could teach us for the rest of our lives.
What?
If that video came out at the time of the incident, I'm sure life would have been hard for us then. After all, Kawai was exposed online, and that would mean millions of yen in compensation for damages.
Yeah, but you guys could have wound up in the same boat.
No. At most, we would have come across as dumb kids he roped into helping him. We might have caught some flack, but people would chalk it up to kids and their cliques and move on. But that's only how I would have gone if it had come out while we were still teenagers.
You're saying circumstances are different now?
I have a child now,
Claro.
a husband, an upscale
Ahora
apartment.
de una vida.
If the world sees that tape now, I'll lose it all. And what do you think would happen to my son? The son of a woman who drove a kid to attempt suicide. His life would be ruined. That recording is more than kids being cruel. Mitsuru jumped from the school roof that very night and is still in a coma today.
I get it. You have that much more to lose now than when you were a kid.
Same for all my classmates. Kurokawa Academy is a prestigious school, after all. Most graduates go off to great universities and land high-paying jobs. One started his own company. Others have families.
And they're all in your position too, huh? If that video gets out, they lose everything.
Exactly. Do you get it now? He waited for all of us to get what we wanted in life, just so he could threaten to take it all
Hostias.
away.
Paciente,
And
¿eh?
when that time came, he started contacting us. Every student you see in that video.
When was the first time Kawana approached you?
5 years ago. I was out on a walk with my son when he came strolling up out of the blue. At first, I barely recognized him.
Bienvenida a
His
Pokémon,
eyes were so
Carlos.
hollow. Then, without so much as a word, he took out his phone and played that video. He's a psychopath.
Well,
Ah.
all you kids tormenting Mitsuru looked pretty psychopathic
Eso,
to me.
eso digo yo.
Oh, and you're so perfect. An angel who never once acted out of line. Never lashed out at someone weaker than you, or sided with the group to shut someone out. Everyone does it.
Sí, bueno, igualito, no te
We were
jodes.
just lucky enough to have some great
Ignorar a alguien.
picking on some kid who couldn't take it. Why did this have to happen to me?
I'd say it's because bad things happen to bad people. You'll sling your barbs from a safe distance, but once you're on the other side of it, you curl up and play victim.
You said it was 5 years ago that Kawana showed you the video? Reminds me of something Shirosaki-sensei was looking into.
What?
There was this guy. I think his name was Shinya Kawai. Something about him getting
Esta tiene que
snatched off the
saberlo,
streets about
pregúntale.
5 years
Esta...
back.
Mira, 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 mira. Lo sabe, lo sabe. Lo sabe. ¿Sabe qué pasó? ¿Lo mataron? Tío, quiero saber qué le pasó.
Then it was you guys.
Claro,
You're the ones
Yagami.
who abducted him in Kamurocho and
Claro.
murdered him.
No, it wasn't us. We could never do something like that.
Wasn't us, huh? So you're not denying he was murdered after all? Who was it then?
All Sensei told us was to find Kawai somewhere in Kamurocho, then bring him back with us, no matter what it took.
Did Kawana tell you what he wanted with him?
He needs to be there when you all beg for forgiveness, is all he said. And if we refused, he'd leak the video. So we all went to see Kawai, but he wanted nothing to do with Sensei. Considering he'd cost him everything, that came as no surprise.
But doing nothing would cost the rest of you everything too.
Yes. So we had to force him into our van. After he put up a fight.
Yeah, that lines up with what the local eyewitnesses said. So then what happened? Nobody's heard from the guy since.
We were directed to bring him to a wharf in Yokohama.
T-chilla. Chilla con todas tus fuerzas. Ashley del pasado.
After that, he said we were free to go. All except Kawai.
So you left him there alone with Kawana?
We had to. The day after, I got a message on my phone from Sensei.
What did it say?
Nothing. There was only a video. It was of all of us, pushing Kawai into the van. Turns out he recorded what we did in the city. You can see all our faces so clearly. How we covered Kawai's mouth as he screamed for help. Even if you know all the backstory, the video is a clear-cut abduction. As I was watching it the first time, another message came in. This time, a picture. When I saw it, I just went cold. That's when I knew I would never be able to escape him.
Es el mejor
It was a
villano de todo
picture
el
of
mundo, ¿eh?
Kawhi. Dead. Anyone who saw those messages would think we killed him after shoving him into the van.
And that's how he got his real leverage on his former students.
Pues está muerto.
Since then, we've been at his beck and call. No matter what he tells us to do, we wouldn't dare refuse him.
He's giving you orders?
That man! He forces us to help him with... He makes us accomplices to murder!
Murder?
O sea que el asesinato del principio...
What the hell? Murder who, exactly?
Any bullies involved in suicides. That's who Sensei's got it in for. Anyone he could find across the country. He doesn't even care how old the case is. If a student commits suicide, and bullying is suspected as the cause, he'll turn up. As far as I know, counting Kawai, I think he's killed at least 7 people.
7? How's he doing this?
So his idea of justice is killing
Ay.
bullies across the entire country?
He said that's the only way we can atone. Anyone who drives someone to suicide must always face justice. Until society comes to terms with this, he says we'll keep getting our hands dirty.
Qué lamentable.
We might be able to save
Hola,
the next few
Pokemami, ¿cómo
Mitsumus before
estás?
it's too late for them.
Not sure I should say this out loud, but I'm kind of rooting for this guy now.
Yeah, let's not.
So was the murder of Hiro Mikashiba part of that agenda? We
Pero
know
qué susto más
Mikashiba
tonto
drove
ese
Ihara-san
fantasma,
to suicide 4 years prior. That has to be why Kawana let Ihara murder him.
Le
Now you found your role
ofreció...
in establishing his alibi.
Sí.
Not just me. Grabbing Mikoshiba required a good number of people. All the people who pinned Ehara down. And even the ones who filmed it, they were working for Sensei.
So that's how it went down.
We had an unspoken agreement that we wouldn't directly take part in any killing. He just makes us his accomplices somehow. Like luring a target or digging a hole for a body. But the one thing we can't ever do is turn him down. If we do, he'll send his video of us abducting Kawai to the police. And then Kawai's body will turn up with our fingerprints all over his corpse. And we know that because he's hidden Kawai's corpse in a freezer somewhere.
¿Qué?
He's preserving one of his murder victims?
So as long as he has that, you're wrapped around his finger.
Tiene un cadáver metido en un congelador desde hace 5 años. 5 años. Con un muerto en un congelador. What the fuck?
Sounds to me like Kawana's had one thing on his mind for 13 years. Sitting on that video and becoming an Ijincho handyman was all in service of his real motive, killing off bullies. He's dragged all his former students into this hell, until the day it destroys every single one of you.
Is today that day?
We'll see. I'm still curious about a few things though, if you don't mind.
What?
There are these scumbags chasing down Kawana called RK. What part did they play? Strangely enough, they never came up once during your confession. So tell me, why'd they come for Yokosawa?
That I don't know for certain. But Sensei did reach out to Yoko-chan about 6 months ago over the phone. He was asking her about the suicide at Seiryo High.
The suicide at Seiryo High. You must be talking about Toshiro Ehara.
The lawsuit played out like no bullying took place, right? That the school wasn't responsible. But Yoko-chan was a teacher there, and Sensei was able to get the truth out of her.
How'd he do that? What did he say?
From Yoko-chan's perspective, she and Sensei were both just teachers dealing with students attempting suicide. I think that's why she let her guard down and told them everything. After learning the truth, Sensei believed Mikoshiba needed to be held accountable.
So if Sawa-sensei hadn't talked to him, Ehara wouldn't have gotten involved? And none of this would be happening in Ijincho?
Possibly.
No, this isn't right. Sawa-sensei didn't know Kawana's identity or his objectives. She thought she was just talking through her problems with a sympathetic ex-teacher. At the very least, she sure as hell didn't deserve to die for that!
It's not like we're the ones who did it.
Who is it?
Block number.
Ah, cubana.
Hello?
Yo, know who this is, Yagami?
Kawana?
Yeah. I heard you're looking for me.
Where are you?
I'm willing to meet you now if you come alone. But you have to let Mamiya go in exchange.
What?
All right. She's free as soon as I see you.
Works for me. Then come on down to your office. I thought I'd let myself in.
Adiós,
What?
en Kamurocho, ¿en serio?
Gotta say, this chair's pretty comfy.
Pretty sure I locked up behind me when I left.
Listen, I'll only meet you alone. No one else. And don't make me wait long, or I could change my mind.
He told me to meet him alone. You can let Mamiya-san go once I confirm he's there.
You gonna be alright by yourself?
Well, he already knows Mamiya-san's with us. I'm guessing he was watching us from somewhere. And I can't afford to do anything that would piss him off enough to make him disappear.
Got it.
Oh, we'll take care of this end of it. Shouldn't you move your ass?
Lul. Me parece terrible que no haya cogido bolitas de estas. Pez globo. Otro. Se acaba de poner tensa la cosa, ¿eh? Tío, dame otro que no sea un pez globo. Vamos a armar. Seguramente sí, Twins. Mira, aquí lo va a ver. A ver, ¿dónde están los recreativos? Mira. Mira, ¿ves? Hay 6. Otro salmón. No tendría que estar gastándome dinero en esto, ¿eh? Tío, no chilles. Loca, estás loca. A ver. Uno más. Uno distinto y me voy. Me cago en... No, que el dinero se acaba. Y no tengo el pase para los... Para el gato. Vale, ya está, un atún. Pez globo, salmón y atún, me vale. Vámonos. ¿Qué es? No será mediodía. No, es de noche, tío. ¡Ojo! Es de noche. Cuando sea mediodía hay que ir a hablar con Amasawa para lo del profesor, que todavía no sabemos quién es el profesor.
This drawing. There it is. I can hear it.
Vale. Que el profesor es otra movida, ¿eh?
Ah,
está aquí.
Cartas. Cada vez que quieras chillar. Me quedo pobre.
Sí, JC. Ah, porque estoy en Kamurocho. Ah, claro, que estoy en las recreativas. Uf, tío, estoy fatal. O sea, con deciros que antes... Mira, antes... Le he escrito a Jay... Y... Sí, le he escrito... Pero no le he dado a enviar. No, no me quiero pegar, tío. Entonces no le ha llegado, obviamente. O sea, para que veáis cómo estoy hoy. Le escribo y no le doy al intro. Y se ha quedado ahí escrito en... Terrible. Un driflón. Lo quiero. Que me toque preparar para cuando llegue y haga el torneo de Pokémon. Pero no acaba de salir, tan lenta estoy. Pues sí, estoy lenta. He perdido el derecho. Voy con lag. Ay, qué terrible.
Hope you don't mind I let myself in. Now, are you gonna hold up your end and release Yui Mamiya? Come on. You and I can either try to make this work, or neither of us is gonna get what we want. So, you gonna make the call or what?
Hello? Yagami-san?
I'm with Kawana. You can let Mamiya-san go.
Got it. Will do.
Sorry about all this, Yagami. Why don't you sit down? Maybe it's time you and I had a heart-to-heart. How's Kaito holding up?
Kaito-san's recovering in the hospital. For now. Sawa-sensei is another story, though.
I can hardly believe it. She was the last person I wanted to get mixed up in all this shit.
If that's the case, why were you already waiting in her apartment? RK's top men were lying in wait over there to get their hands on you. So why was she the one lying on the ground? Answer me, Kawana. Was it because of you?
Would you feel better if it was?
How dare you?
You're thinking that if you hadn't stuck your nose in her affairs, she might be at home grading her papers right now. You tell me. Is that what's eating away at you right now?
Ay, me ha dado, ¿eh?
Because if it is, you're mistaken. That guilt is mine alone to bear. It's my burden to carry. When I saw on the news that she had been murdered in cold blood, it felt like the whole world had stopped spinning to me. I would take it all back right now if I could. But unfortunately, to fix this, I'd need to turn the clock back further than you'd think.
You mean back to when you were a school teacher?
Yeah, basically. Back to when I still had a little faith in humanity. Seeing someone's life get cut short, you never really bounce back from it, do you? But I don't have to tell you that. I did my homework on you, Yagami. It seems you were a fairly accomplished lawyer. You even scored a murder acquittal.
Otra vez me va a soltar
But we
una
both know
mierda.
how that ended. The death of an innocent young woman.
No fue así exactamente. Pero bueno.
You and I are the same. We both have scars. And they're the type of scars that never fully heal.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
But for Sawa-kun, it was 13 years ago. The very day before Mitsuru Kusamoto jumped, she stopped me in the hall so she could tell me about how serious the bullying really was. Up until that day, I just assumed it was boys being boys, teasing. I figured it was harmless, that they'd get bored with it, and then they'd move on. I mean, come on. Kawai had to have been twice the size of Mitsuru. It's not like I'd seen any fighting, so I warned him not to overdo it. And eventually he would take the hint.
Well, according to what I was told, you smirked, actually.
Yeah, I guess that's what I did. Now it's too late. Sawa-kun had to point it out. Sensei, how could you be so blind, she asked. Her eyes were this piercing mix of pity and scorn. According to what she told me, nearly half the class was bullying Mitsuru. She said she'd seen him at the station. She made it sound like he had half a mind to jump onto the tracks right then and there. I'm not so presumptuous anymore. But back then, I used to think my students were my biggest fans.
Claro.
I thought I'd won their hearts and minds. But the look on Sawa-kun's face that day made me see the truth. I couldn't just go on smiling like nothing happened. So I decided to do my homework. The next day, I put a hidden camera in the classroom after school.
So you admit that you're the one who recorded that video?
Yeah. You saw it, right? Talk about the ugly side of kids. Hard to watch, wasn't it? Unfortunately, by the time I picked up the camera and saw what it recorded, Mitsuru had made his jump. I missed him by a few crucial moments. What happened in that classroom was the final straw. Later on, all the bullies were asked what happened. Each and every one of them lied. Kawai started it. It wasn't our idea, they said. To anyone outside of it, all they'd seen was Kawai forcing Mitsuru to do his bidding. So the people held culpable were Kawai and myself. The callous homeroom teacher who deliberately turned a blind eye. That was the day I began living my life with real purpose.
So you couldn't forgive your students who got away with bullying. You went so far. You put aside your own life to make sure they atone somehow.
También te digo, 7 personas que haya matado en 5 años, o 6 que llevará matando, 7 bullies en 5 años, me parece poco, la verdad. Me parece bastante poco.
That's right. Mitsuru Kusumoto's still a vegetable. He's as good as dead. But I don't care. We have no right to forget about him.
You say that, even though Sawa-sensei ended up paying for it. I'll ask you again. Why were you at her apartment the other day? Don't dodge the question this time.
I wouldn't say I dodged it. But I suppose I should explain from the beginning. 4 years ago, there was a suicide at Sawa-kun's school. It was her own student this time. You know this, right? A student at Seiryo High School? Toshiro Ehara.
Yeah.
When she was in court, Sawa-kun had no choice but to say there wasn't any bullying. Soon as she told me that, I knew Hiro Mikoshiba would be my next target. Of course, she had no idea about any of that. When Sawa-kun learned Mikoshiba had been murdered, though, she reached out to me herself.
What did she want?
She had a sneaking suspicion that I was involved in his death. She called me a few times, prodding carefully for answers. Quite the perceptive lady, really.
And? What kind of answers did you give her?
I denied any knowledge of it, but at one point, she mentioned something kind of odd. That there was a detective at the school already investigating the incident.
Huh?
She meant you, of course. A detective already knee-deep into the case, despite the police barely even knowing about Mikoshiba. The police are a pain in the ass. But when an out-of-town detective comes sniffing around, that's bad. I knew I had to act fast to get you off the trail. Although, Sawa-kun was a problem too. I thought I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
And then what?
First, I found out where the 2 of you would be meeting up, at that little cafe. Then, I hired the Liumang to step in. But you put up one hell of a fight. They had strength in numbers, but you would have taken out the whole group if I hadn't stepped in. Nonetheless, my other message went through. At the same time, Sawa-kun was handed a photo of Mikoshiba's final moments. I left that task to someone you know. Yue Mamiya. They hadn't seen each other in 13 years. Sawa-kun had no idea.
Todo va encajando ya, ¿eh?
Sunglasses. Yui Mamiya was involved in that too?
Everything I did that night was intended as a warning to Sawa-kun. Although, I guess I didn't have to be so extreme about it.
Yeah. Sawa-sensei was too smart. She must have started suspecting that you'd had something to do with Mikoshiba's murder. After all, who else could have known we'd be meeting at that cafe? She'd have traced it right back to you.
Even if Sawa-kun had started to suspect me, I knew she wouldn't sell me out to the cops. We're too alike. The both of us lost students to suicide on our watch. That said, I couldn't bear the thought of dragging her down into the mess I started, so I scared her off, and I thought she would stay away. The day she was killed, she called to ask if we could speak in person. I could tell something was wrong. She was on the verge of tears the whole call. Then she broke down. I asked her why, of course, but she wouldn't give me a straight answer no matter how I tried to phrase the question.
So then what? Did you just waltz on over there? It doesn't seem like you.
Watch it. You don't know me well enough to say that.
Maybe. But I assume you had some sort of plan going in. Were you gonna confess to her?
Here's the thing. If she'd figured out that I was behind Mikoshiba, and it didn't sit well with her, I would have told her every last detail. Sawa-kun, no. I think she would have understood me.
Yo creo que no.
Or at least that's what I had believed.
Yo creo que
In
no.
hindsight, I think she was forced to make that call. Under normal circumstances, I'm sure she'd have rather washed her hands of me. Hard as it is to hear, I think she called me under duress. RK probably had her hostage. That would explain the vague responses. That's probably why her voice was trembling. It's tragic.
You mean it was RK? Why do they want you so badly anyway?
I don't know.
What?
Por
If I
el
knew
otro
their
tío.
angle, I'd be doing more than just scurrying around.
Porque se llevó a uno de los suyos, seguramente.
Believe me, I'm just as clueless as you are, much as I hate to admit it. Honest, I'm not thrilled that a small army wants my head on a platter. Have you noticed how RK seems to show up at the worst possible times? Someone must be pulling their strings.
Then we're on the same page. At least we agree on something.
Just a sec. Yeah. I'm still over here with Yagami-san. You're not being tailed by any of his guys, are you? Okay. Then I'll meet you right now. That was Mamiya-kun. She said she's free. You guys have been true to your word. Tell Sugiura-kun that I said thank you.
Now you want to go? We still have some business to settle here.
Now remember, I'm the handyman here. Let
Ay,
me do the
Kenji.
dirty work. I don't know what else to tell you. But you need to get out while you still can.
No se van a quedar al margen.
If you disappear into the night, I don't want to go busting my ass just to find you again. Before you leave, I'll need some contact info. A phone number would be nice.
Oh, no need for that. As far as I'm concerned, this is goodbye.
I wouldn't count on that. You won't get away.
A mí en su día también me dio infarto el móvil vibrando, ¿eh? Yo intento darme cuenta de los Pokémon fantasmas que van saliendo, que ahora están saliendo más que de costumbre. Supongo que por el mes que estamos. Porque me quiero ir preparando, Kenji. Toma. Vuelve. Tío, este corre mucho, ¿eh? Tío, hace media hora que no tiene barra, ¿eh? Pensaba que era una madre que me llamaba porque no estaba en las clases. No, todavía te queda, Kenji, todavía te queda. Relájate, relájate. Vuelve a dormirte en la silla, no te preocupes. Además hoy no puedo chillar, así que puedes dormir plácido y a gusto. Hoy no voy a despertar a nadie a chillidos.
Where'd he go?
Pero ponte la alarma. Ponte la alarma, Kenji. Si no, dinos a qué hora quieres que te avisemos. Y empezamos a tirar aquí cartas de grito hasta que te despiertes. Tú dinos a qué hora. Empezamos aquí a poner cartas de gritos.
Kawana, what are you going to do now? What do you think happens when he spills everything? Sounds like your lives are over, unless you shut him up.
But Sensei, you'll finish the job for us, right?
Huh? Is that you, Akahike?
Oh, he's even got a name to your voice.
Answer me, Sensei!
I know. I'll be the one to finish it. You just knock him out.
Okay then. Time to learn your lesson!
Tonto, ¿eh?
Come on.
A las 8 deberías de estar preparándote, vale. Si no sabemos nada de ti a las 8, empezamos aquí a tirar cartas de gritos. Pero en el cuchillito... Stop, ¿sabes?
Kawana? Oh no, Kawana!
LOL.
Really? So nice of you to stick around. Mamiya-san. Well, since Kawana couldn't stay, sounds like you're not out of the woods just yet.
Otra vez. Capítulo 10, chavales. Hay que averiguar quién es el profesor antes de terminar el juego, ¿eh?
13 years in the past.
Mitsuru Kusumoto plunged himself into a coma.
Mami ya es una mamá chiquita, correcto. Kenji. Me alegro de que estés prestando atención a la historia.
Kuwana sets off on a path of vengeance, and the bullies he drags with him are shackled
A
to
mí
the
el malo
shadows.
este me parece un genio, tío.
However, Yokosawa's murder serves as a deadly
O sea, se le ha ido de las manos, pero es un genio. Cacería se llama. Toma.
Hey, what are you doing?
Getting your identification on record, so you won't be a threat to us anymore?
What?
And I think you owe us after everything you've done. Expect me to come collect one of these days.
Rebolleur.
Carriage awaits, Mamiya-san.
Don't tell me we're going back to that dingy arcade.
We sure are. I try not to hold a grudge. It wasn't us who abandoned you.
Bueno, pues aquí estamos otra vez.
Higashi, you already called Sari-san and the gang, right?
Yeah, I let them know what's up. They said they'll head over when they're ready.
Did Shirosaki-sensei say anything?
Well, she was pretty stunned when I told her who Kuwana really is and what he's up to.
Sounding a little smug there, Higashi-san. Taking credit for the detective work you didn't even do? Back me up here, Yagami-san.
Whatever, man. Kuwana got away, and that's all that matters. Still, the task in front of us is finishing Sari-san's case. We have to clear up Ahara's crime once and for all. With Mamiya-san's help, of course.
Finally, I'm ready to get some answers. Well, we still got time till Shirosaki-sensei gets here. Why don't you take a breather, Yagami-san?
That'd be okay?
Sure.
Sí.
I'll call you once everyone's here.
Exacto, Kenji.
Yeah.
Ese es.
Break sounds good.
By the way, Higashi, has anything unusual gone down in Kamurocho lately? Anything involving RK?
Yeah, about that. My guys are saying things have been a little too quiet since yesterday.
Desde
Soma and
ayer.
Akutsu are out in Ijincho too. When they come back, they're in for a rude awakening. And they can pay for what they did to Kaito Aniki.
Make 'em pay? Aren't your Yakuza days behind you now?
That's not the Yakuza in me talking. That's just a problem I'm gonna be the solution for.
Este hombre es la polla.
Isn't that exactly what a Yakuza would say?
Fine. Think of it as getting revenge for a brother. I'm doing the right thing, damn it!
Yeah, maybe it's just how you're putting it.
Besides, what's it matter if I was Yakuza? I've got my own code, and I'm gonna do right by me.
Whatever you say. Much as things change, they stay the same.
Vale, hay que hacer tiempo. Así que quiero ir a ver si puedo hablar con la Masagua. ¿Es de noche? ¿Es de día? Creo que es de noche, tío. Qué asco.
What could this mean?
Este.
Bingo.
Ok. Vale, si es de noche no puedo hacer mucho más. ¿Te tatuarías esa ardilla? Sí, ¿por qué no? La verdad es que... A ver, en verdad estuve pensando el otro día que poderme tatuar que simbolice los Judgment. Pero es que las ardillas no están en el primero. Ese es el problema. Tío, lo del café... Pues a toda la cara de Super Poli, no. Tío, lo del pinche café... Voy a sacar todo ahí. ¿Y si te tatúas mi nombre? No, por café. Aunque me casase y tuviese hijos contigo, nunca me tatuaría el nombre de nadie.
Hey, Yagami-san, it's Sugiura.
Hey.
Shirosaki-sensei and the others just got to Charles. They're getting ready to grill Mamiya-san.
Got it. Then I'll head back soon.
No, pues ahora no quiero ir. Ahora quiero ir al pinche café. A ver si soy capaz de entrar. Que realmente es la única misión que me queda. No sé si tengo alguna más por coger. Tío, el patinete por Kamurocho puede ser la mayor mierda del mundo. Vamos a ver. Vamos a sacar cosas aquí, ¿vale? No.
I think I'm facing the wrong way.
¿Y el perro?
There you are. Who's a good boy? Good boy.
No, tampoco. Tío, pues qué carajos. ¿Cómo entro ahí? El ladrón... Tío, lo voy a buscar. El ladrón de la cafetería. Fuera, 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 fuera. Fuera, fuera. Quiero entrar en esa pinche cafetería. Y quiero entrar ya. Anunciado un nuevo survival horror con estética de Resident Evil y Final Fantasy VII. ¿Habéis visto ese juego? Crow Country. Ya te abrí la puerta, adelante. Crow Country. ¿Qué carajos es esto? Esto... hay que verlo luego, ¿eh? Predicciones de los juegos gratis del mes que viene. Predicciones. A ver. Me estoy desemando, no estoy buscando. ¡Anda, mira! ¡Anda! ¡Anda! Kenji, 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 Kenji. ¿Sabes cuál está en predicción? No puedo chillar, claro. Por eso. ¿Sabes qué juego está en predicción? En predicción, ¿eh? O sea, no... No se sabe todavía si va a ser ese o no va a ser ese. Pero está en predicción. A lo mejor acierta, a lo mejor no. ¿Sabes cuál? El Tunic. El Tunic. El Persona 5 Royal, que nos da igual porque ya no lo hemos pasado. El Chernobyl, que tampoco sé cuál es. Y el Tunic. ¿Viste? Como lo pongan, no se sabe si lo van a poner, es predicción, ¿eh? Pero si lo ponen... Es que quería que jugase a ese y dice, te lo regalo. Digo, no lo regales, que es el típico juego que van a regalar con el Plus. Lo hablamos hace nada. Si lo ponen, triunfada, ¿eh? Te voy a odiar si te lo ponen. Es el Esencial. Es los juegos gratis del Plus normal. A unas malas te puedes pagar el Plus un mes. Bueno, no, porque es de Play 5, ¿no? El juego no está en Play 4. Es que el Plus de un mes te cuesta 10 euros. Que creo que te cuesta más barato que el juego en sí, ¿sabes? Pero creo que es solo Play 5, puede ser. El ladrón de la cafetería. Ay. Tenía que hacer eso, en serio. Ok. Voy a pasar. Mucha gente hace eso, Kenji. O sea, a veces el juego que ponen es más caro que el plus de un mes. Y entonces se compran el plus de un mes y se lo juegan y ya está.
Hmm?
Ahora sí, ¿ves? El cartel, tío. El cartel. Primero hay que ver si lo ponen de verdad, tú dices. Este o ese.
Almost there. Got it.
Hola, Gotada, ¿cómo estamos? Gotada, ya puedes ir entrando a Streamlabs para que veas lo que hay porque te perdiste nuestra conversación de ayer. Y no quiero que nadie se pierda esa mierda porque renta. Así que entra a Streamlabs y mira lo que hay. Vas a flipar. Adiós, Gotada, eso es para que veas Streamlabs tranquilamente. Llevan robando aquí un mes entero. ¡Lul! Encuentra la forma de acercarte al ladrón. ¿Cómo? En el callejón, ¿eh? Ah, aquí. ¿What? Vamos a probar. ¿Que sí? Venga. Tío, qué lamentable. Ya, JC, tengo que ponerla. Es que no he aprendido todavía a hacer GIFs.
Gotada Solid
No.
quiere guerra con 40 cofres.
¿Pero dónde vas, Gotada, con 40? ¡No! Que me muero. Ay. Gotada. Muchísimas gracias, Gotada, por esos 40 cofres de guerra, de verdad. Muchas, muchas gracias. Pero había que comprar uno, al menos uno durante 6 días, para que tengas lo de las participaciones de los sorteos. No. Ay, Dios. Yo sufriendo por vuestras participaciones de los sorteos. Sufriendo muchísimo, tío, con el bonus de 6 días. Muchísimas gracias, Gotada, de verdad. Muchas, muchas, muchas thank yous. Muchísimas gracias. Un besazo enorme. Enorme, enormísimo. Te agradezco un montón.
C-no chilles. Yo le agradezco a Gotada. Gotada, gracias, pero es poco aún.
¡No! JC. JC. De verdad, ¿eh? Me la lía este hombre. Me la lía. Vale, pues gracias a esos 40 cofres de Gotada, creo que ya sé que vamos a jugar en el especial del domingo. Ya sé que vamos a jugar. Ah, que me he movido, soy un ninja. Estos días compro uno y listo, esa es. Pero es que el domingo... Bueno, igual el domingo es que no podías estar. El domingo hay especial Halloween y va a ser como un subatón, pero con cofres. Ampliable con 2x1 en cofres de terror, aunque has comprado de guerra. Pero, tú sabes. Pero sí, con un cofre ya os hace el bonus de los 6 días. Y son casi 200 participaciones más. O sea, es que con 6 cofres mínimo os cuenta como 200, ¿sabes? Que renta, tío. Lo diré hasta la saciedad, pero vamos. Vale, no ha sido buena idea. No ha sido buena idea, chavales, casi me pilla. Venga, va, dentro de una caja.
Whatever, just a box.
Qué lamentable. Ah, me toca acercar yo. No. Casi me la lía el mono por dos. Tío, ¿en serio? Tío, qué tontería. ¿Dónde ha salido? Dice. La madre que me echó.
Hey!
C-bajo son tan rencorosos.
¿Qué pasa?
Alguien debería decirle a Viejo es el centro de todo.
Este hombre no se entera ni del nodo, el policía. ¿Refuerzos para qué? ¿Por una mujer? Tío, el policía, de verdad, no sabe ni por dónde le sopla el viento. ¡Ostras! Me lo he comido, tío. Sí que me iba a tomar por culo. Ay, qué pena. Está muy lejos. Tío, qué puto horror va a ser el domingo. Qué puto horror va a ser el domingo. Encima 2x1 en cartas de miedo. No, me voy a morir. Si ya con eso me asustáis, es que no estoy acostumbrada a que me salgan cosas. Me voy a morir. Espera, que quiero ese sape. Tranqui, nunca te acostumbras. Qué bien. Vamos a jugar al Son of Horror, chavales. ¿Qué os parece? Tengo idea de jugar al Son of Horror y... ¿qué os parece? Bueno, luego lo hablamos. No, me lo tengo que comprar, Kenji. Es que en el Plus no hay nada de miedo, absolutamente nada. Nada de nada. Y el Son of Horror es una espinita que tengo clavada y está en oferta, lo único. Pero bueno, es lo que hay.
No way.
Marido y mujer, tú. Lo he pillado.
I see.
Toma.
Oh.
Ese juego es buenísimo. Mira, a JC le mola. Perfecto. ¡Ay, salgo yo!
Seriously?
Ni puta idea de cuál es. ¿En serio, JC? Pero si lo jugamos aquí... Ah, pero a medias. Lo jugamos hasta la mitad. Pensé que lo decías por eso. Yo llegué al capítulo 3 y me divorciaron. Ya, ojalá tuvieras el juego, Kenny, para dejármelo. Pero bueno. Lo jugaremos aquí, el domingo. Creo que va a ser el buen candidato, porque dura bastante. Nos da para hacer el especial. Tengo pensado empezar pronto, rollo las 2 de la tarde. Y que las 2 de la tarde os pilla, los de lata nos pilla temprano, pero bueno. 2 de la tarde y como máximo hasta las 5 de la mañana. 15 horas. Como máximo. Si llegamos. Igual no llegamos a las 15 horas, pero como máximo 15 horas. ¿Qué os parece? Yo creo que lo veo bien. Es que me mola más eso que dormir y tal, porque luego por la mañana todo lata va a estar durmiendo y es como... ¿Y qué hacemos aquí? Lo que mola es estar todos juntos. Así que yo creo que eso mola más. 15 horas está guay. Y serán, no sé, en plan 15 cofres, que están 2 por 1, ¿eh? Así que sería como 30 cofres más 1 hora. O sea, 30 cofres para vosotros. 15 cofres, 1 hora más de stream, o 10 cofres. Algo así. O 12, o 13, no sé. Por ahí. El rango por ahí. El rango por ahí. Ah, ya está. E ir sumando de 1 hora en 1 hora. 10 cofres, a lo mejor. 10 cofres 1 hora. No sé. Tengo que mirar, pero más o menos. Más o menos. Sí, porque 10 es el... Es el... pack. Pack de 10. Claro, exacto. Exacto. Efectivamente. Voy a ir a ver a mis gatos y ya vuelvo a interrogar a la otra. Pero primero vamos a ver a los gatos. Gatitos, gatitos.
A name, huh?
Ay, ¿tú quién eras? Ostras, ¿cómo le puse a este? ¿Ganso? Sí. El pack de 5, 30 minutos y un cofre... ¿Cómo? El pack de 5, 30 minutos y un cofre siga participando. Ah. A ver, haré las cuentas para gente que no compre de 10 en 10, ¿sabes? Pero que sea más o menos eso. Darle comida. Toma. Vale, vamos a interrogar a la tía esta. No quiero pasar por allí porque no me quiero pegar. Aquí hay cara de que hay una ardilla, ¿no? ¿No? No. Pero sí, me gusta JC que sea pack de 10. Cada 10 cofres una hora lo veo guay. Porque es el pack. Entonces está guay eso. Y el juego es que dura entre 12 y 15 horas, creo. O sea, perfecto, es que me cuadra perfecto.
Really, guys?
Cuadra perfectísimo para estar aquí todo el día de miedo. Y el 2x1 en terror, nada, yo creo que no lo vamos a pasar muy bien, ¿eh? Tengo que organizarme el fin de semana. No hay prisa, pues. Estoy con mis pensamientos.
What a waste.
Me apetece, me apetece. Es que este año no he hecho lo que hice el año pasado de hacer todo el mes de miedo, porque literalmente, chavales, no tengo juegos de miedo a los que jugar. No, de una. Seguramente sea... no sea de una.
And stay down.
¿Dónde está? Esto no era de una tía. Si es que el tiempo base os va a dar igual, JC. Si a la que se compre nada de cofre, ya vamos a estar aquí medio año.
Excuse me.
10 cofres por hora. Si fuesen así los extensibles, madre mía, loco. No salgo, estoy todavía en extensible. Hombre, no. Empezaré con una hora o algo así, pero si es que va a dar igual. Si es que os conozco, tío. En cuanto abra el juego de miedo, ya me vais a infartar. Es que ni había pensado en esa pregunta, JC. Yo ya daba por hecho, yo me estoy preparando ya mentalmente para que según enchufe el juego me infarte. Yo ya estoy ahí mentalizándome.
You too, Genda-sensei?
Anda, está aquí.
What? Am I in the way?
Of course not. I didn't know you still
Pero
did
está
film.
aquí todo el mundo.
I figured if they could pull a fast one on Saori-kun, I'd at least want to look him in the eye.
Why are all these people here?
Ya, tío.
What gives?
No lo sé, hija mía. Se han
We've been
unido a la
waiting for you,
fiesta porque es
Yamami-san.
así del toto.
Mamiya-san is about to enlighten us on the truth behind the groping.
Vale,
Good.
perfecto.
Oh, and I heard about Sawa-sensei. I'm so sorry.
Our condolences.
Looks like she got mixed up in all this when RK was chasing after Kawana. But we're still not sure why they chased him. To figure that out, we'll have to retrace Kawana's steps.
Exactly.
That said, let's start with the harassment charges, Mamiya-san.
A ver, amiga.
Fine. Let's get this over with.
Pout all you want, but keep the answers straight. Got it?
Ihara's assault was designed to establish a false alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. So Kawana had you play the victim, and together you pulled one over on the police and the court.
Can you confirm if this is all accurate so far, please?
Yeah.
The person who groped you on the train wasn't Ihara-san himself. It was his stand-in. And my understanding is that he had conspirators to help him fabricate this event?
That's right.
What was Kawana doing at the time? Was he in Ijinsho or Tokyo?
Didn't you hear your lady friend? Ihara-san had a stand-in. And that stand-in was our sensei.
You mean Kawana posed as Ihara himself?
¿En serio?
So this Ihara was actually Kawana.
Lul, pues sí que se implica, ¿no?
Sensei and Ihara-san have a pretty similar build. Not sure they could have pulled it off otherwise, you know?
But some spots don't look right, like his mouth. You sure that's really Kawana-san?
That part around his mouth is fake. He said he scanned Ihara-san's face and made it on a 3D printer.
Oh, huh. You can print things in 3D now?
Well, it's a machine that takes a model's data from a computer and prints physical objects using materials like resin. So if you were to scan a person's face onto a computer, a 3D printer could accurately recreate it.
I don't know the details, but that's what Sensei used to become Ihara-san.
Something like this. See, with a 3D printer, a piece of a face is pretty easy to make.
What the hell?
I see. His eyes are hidden behind the sunglasses, and the seams on his jaw are obscured by the mask.
It's incredible, I must say. With the mouth area so visible, it's too convincing to think he's anybody else. And with the prosecution assuming he's just another sexual predator, they fell for it.
This is no time to be impressed. In case you forgot, he had the defense fooled too.
Right.
Ya, pero si está bien hecho, está bien hecho, tío. Se la ha currado.
There's still some evidence I'm iffy about.
I'm of the same opinion.
Okay. Which evidence is questionable?
Obvio que sí. Te respondo chillando. Dame esa porra.
Ahí va, ahí va. ¿Con esta?
How should we be looking at this?
The guy getting taken down in the footage is the real Ihara-san. Sensei had already switched places with them before the scene happened. No one saw through his disguise.
Tal y como habíamos deducido.
There'd be no way to swap places after getting caught like this. His sunglasses were removed too.
Also, the person who tripped him was one of ours. So was the one who took the smartphone video. If nobody tried to stop him, he would have just gotten away. But the most important part of it was pinning Ihara-san as the culprit out in public.
Right. If that didn't happen, the entire alibi goes up in smoke.
More or less.
So basically, this entire battery case was calculated from the start. Nothing but smoke and mirrors.
Supongo que tendré que darle todo la carrera.
What do you make of this?
I mean, what's there to doubt?
Vale, eso no.
You tell me?
The one running on the platform wasn't Ihara-san. It was Sensei pretending to be him, right?
Meaning...
There is no more meaning. That's all there is to it. Ihara-san used a stand-in to fake his
Creía que me iba a
alibi.
decir cuando se
The stand-in
intercambiaron.
turned out to be none other than Jin Kawana, which Mamiya-san just finished explaining in detail.
Yep. Good to know we have all our ducks in a row.
Esto también
This
va a
came
decir
up
que ya lo
pretty
sabe.
clearly.
Uh-huh.
So the guy in the back is Kawana posing as Ahara, right?
Yes. And he actually didn't lay a finger on me. His prince couldn't show up.
Sounds like you had a hell of a time getting this set up.
I didn't. But Sensei sure did.
Vale. ¿Cuál más? El vídeo del asesinato.
Any thoughts after seeing this?
Stop it.
You're gonna look away? You aided and abetted by playing the victim, didn't you?
Sí.
I mean, yes.
Who put this video up on the internet?
Sensei did. He said from the start that once Ehara-san got his guilty verdict, he'd upload it to the internet.
So that was all part of the plan.
Yeah. Sensei can't forgive the law for how easy it lets off bullies. Ehara-san's the same way. His son's death was brushed aside. The court blamed his suicide on unknown factors.
Ajá, claro. Por motivos desconocidos, claro que sí. Hay que joderse.
The real victim is some bully who never got what he deserved, and the killer gets off in court by being convicted of battery. How would the public respond after finding out they'd gamed the law like that?
So Kawana and Ahara's real plan was to make a mockery out of the justice system.
Pues ya sabíamos, ya lo dijo.
Seems to be going well for them. The courts are beside themselves for dragging the police into this.
I guess Ahara really was desperate. He was never concerned about his own punishment. He tarnished his own name to humiliate the law.
Yeah, cop or not, Ahara is a broken man. Nobody took responsibility for his son's death, and the courts all but ignored his case. No wonder he went along with Kawana.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Sensei and Ehara-san are the perfect pair with nothing to lose. The only ones who do are the ones forced to comply. Us. Speaking of which, are we done here yet?
Más.
How about this then?
And this is?
Before the incident, Ahara used this card to go through the ticket gate at Ikebukuro, the time of which was recorded.
Right, and it was on October 7th at 7:43 a.m.
Thanks, Hoshino-kun.
Happy to help, Yagami-san.
At the earliest, Mikoshiba's time of death would have been 7:30 a.m. If Ahara killed Mikoshiba in Ijincho, he would have only had 13 minutes to get to Ikebukuro. And frankly, that's impossible.
That's what's stumping you?
Huh?
Sensei borrowed the card from Ehara-san beforehand and passed her the gate. Afterward, he slipped it back to Ehara-san when they switched places. That way, Ehara-san ended up having the time-stamped card on him. Makes sense now.
So even the entry time through the ticket gate was used as part of the alibi?
It all
Obvio,
seems so
claro.
obvious now that I hear it.
Claro.
Nobody'd suspect that a groping was being used as an alibi for murder.
Yeah. And on top of all that, no one knew Mikoshiba had been killed during the trial. They really pulled it off.
Anything else?
This piece of the puzzle still needs an explanation.
Is that...
The police examined the trace evidence on Ahara's hands after he was caught. And from the analysis, the same fibers from Mamiya-san's undergarments were found on Ahara's hands.
That's right. If the stand-in was the groper, Ehara-san wouldn't have touched Mamiya-san at all. But the evidence on Ehara-san's hands suggests otherwise.
Coño, porque se la tocó antes, las bragas. A ella tampoco tiene por qué tocarla.
That's simple. Before I got on the train, I met with the real Ehara-san at the underground platform. That's when I had him touch the undergarment. After that, All I had to do was go to the bathroom and put them on. That's where the fibers in the trace were from. What the police found on Ehara-san's hands was exactly what we wanted them to find. And it would serve as heart proof he grabbed me. The courts really ate it up. It was hard not to laugh sometimes, to be honest.
You're really starting to open up. That's the spirit.
Yagami-san, you sure that's enough?
¿En serio, JC?
Yeah,
No lo he
I think
visto.
we've got plenty. Bottom line, groping was a fabrication. At the very least, we know that the prosecution's evidence can all be refuted.
The courts were being intentionally misled. I'm considering filing an appeal.
Are you saying you want a retrial?
I am. We'll reveal Ehara and Kuwana's plot and overturn the verdict they issued.
That might be harder than it sounds.
Why do you say that, Genda-sensei?
Well, the previous trial resulted in Hara being found guilty, right? As the client, if he doesn't want an appeal, there's no way you're getting one. Doesn't matter what any lawyer tries to do. If Hara refuses to appeal, then that's that.
And we'll talk to him tomorrow. First, we need to see how he reacts to everything we've got on him.
Me sopla un huevo.
Sounds good. Then let's meet at the detention center tomorrow.
Yo, siendo Yara, me sopla un huevo.
So, we done for the night?
Sure are. Great job, everyone. Go get some rest.
Me dicen, oye, sé toda tu tramilla. Y yo le digo, ¿y? Ya me han dicho que soy culpable. Me suda un huevo que me sepas toda la tramiña. No voy a ir a apelar.
Yagami.
Te la comes,
You sure
¿sabes?
it was cool to let that Mamiya chick just go home?
Yeah? Why?
I mean, she helped Kuwana kill all those people. Aren't you gonna turn her in or something?
I would. But there's nothing we can do.
Nothing we can do?
Frankly, we don't have any proof of the murder she was talking about.
What, so this is all for nothing?
Nothing directly pointing to Mamiya, anyway. Aside from Mikoshiba, no
Pero
other
el
bodies turned
otro
up.
tío está en un congelador.
Which means all we can do is take her home, right? Sugiura is making sure she gets back safe.
Fine, forget it. Why are you still here?
Bueno,
Everyone
vamos
else
a
went
poner a
home
buscar
already.
al tío del congelador.
Come on, man, why the cold shoulder? Am I really that annoying?
Me parto la
You wouldn't
caja.
be the guy I'd call to hang out with. So if you're done, then go.
Wow. Straight for the jugular, huh?
But if it's help you need, I'll be there. I've had nothing but time lately. But only if you bow your head and ask nice. Then I'll consider it.
I know for a fact you'd help me out regardless, so why waste a good bow? Thanks for the drink.
Dude, come on. That was your cue to bow and ask nice.